What's going on, guys? I know it's been about a month since I reviewed this series and I regret it. Every episode has been badass, but this episode, I don't know what it was, but I think that was the most epic entrance of All Might so far anyway, besides the one where Izuku was young and he saw him come over that hill, with all those people on his back that he rescued. But this one, I think it's the most epic because I think this is the most serious we've seen All Might. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, in the future, I don't know what happens in the manga. I'm only going by the anime. So, like, when he came through that door and, like, the camera was panning up towards his face and he wasn't smiling. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time that we've seen All Might, in his buff form, not smiling, and he just had a serious face, like, I'm about to fuck some shit up. And how he said, there's no need to worry anymore because I'm here. I was like, way to bring it full circle. The very first episode, I think that's one of the first words we heard him speak through that video that Izuku was watching, and just the fact that this is the next to the last episode of the season and he brought it out again, I'm like, man, All Might is so fucking epic, man. I love his character. But another thing that I'm very impressed with this episode was Izuku, man. When he did the smash, it didn't hurt himself. I'm actually thinking that it's more so because I believe that big artificial man guy is supposed to fight All Might next episode, I guess. I think his name was Nomu, but do you think that, well, I'm pretty sure a lot of you know, don't spoil it for me in the comments, but I believe that he didn't break his arm because Nomu, like, stood in the way. Like, maybe Nomu's body absorbed that punch to the gut, because it seemed like Nomu was created to withstand attacks from All Might and maybe nullify his attacks. Like, maybe when All Might punches him, he doesn't feel anything and they're like equally matched. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe Izuku can't really control it, because I think if he really could control it, it would have been more hype before the actual punch. Like, he would have been like, okay, just like cracking an egg, the thing that All Might said, he would have like tried harder to control it. But like right then and there, it seemed like it was too much of a, how am I gonna say this? It was too much of a last second thing. Like, he wasn't thinking, he just jumped up and smashed, he punched. So I don't think he was even trying to control his punch there. I think Nomu was the one that like nullified it or whatever. But I really want to see what's going to happen between All Might and Nomu, because now that I actually look at the opening, All Might is fighting him. They're exchanging punches like at lightning fast speeds and shit. So since he's the anti-hero or the anti-hope or whatever, and this is going to be like a Superman versus Doomsday kind of thing. It's like they're equally matched, but of course All Might is going to come out on top, hopefully anyway. But when I say Eraserhead, that is my dude, man. I love him. He is so badass. I'm talking about Nomu cracked his arms and just seeing it like being twisted and then snap back. It really reminded me of Kaneki's leg in Tokyo Ghoul when he was being tortured, when it like spun back around in place. That's what it reminded me of, because it's just gross, man. Just seeing like limbs being twisted and broken like that always does something to my stomach. But how he was getting his ass handed to him, I'm talking about Nomu slammed his head so hard into the concrete, it cracked it, made a little crater and everything, and he was still able to erase, whatever the hand face guy, I don't know if we got his name. If we did, I'm sorry, but erase his quirk long enough to save the frog girl. I thought she was over with for a second. And that dramatic scene where Nomu like crashed his head into the ground and his goggles broke, I thought Eraserhead was dead. I mean, I wouldn't like to think that he's a disposable character this early on, but the series is more focused around Izuku and All Might, so I wouldn't have been surprised. But I'm glad he is still around. He is epic. He is fighting his ass off, even being pinned down by someone who rivals even All Might's strength. He's still helping out. Like, his eyes are red as fuck. It look like they're about to fucking fall out. And the guy with the hands all over his face and body and stuff, well, he was scratching his neck like a fucking crackhead. I'm like, dude, someone give this guy a line of coke. He's about to go crazy. It looked like he was about to scratch into his neck. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what beef is with All Might, but he has some motherfucking problem. At first glance, it seems, I'm just throwing this out there based on what I saw from this episode, it looks like he has like the power of decay to make anything he touches like disintegrate. Like Eraserhead's elbow, that shit like hurt, like the muscle was showing, like there wasn't even any blood dripping from it, so it like erased all the veins, it erased everything from his fucking elbow, which is crazy. And he was about to get old Ribbit Face in the face, and I'm like, damn, she would have been over with as soon as he made contact. But I mean, shit came down to the wire at the end. Izuku was trying to do a punch. She was trying to save him, and that guy's hand was in her. It was like everything was about to fuck up. Izuku and everybody else over there was about to die before All Might came in. He has impeccable timing, man, because they would have been done like that. No, Nomu had Izuku, and he was about to punch the shit out of him, and one punch from Nomu, I'm pretty sure Izuku would have been dead. So, y'all might save the day without even saving the day yet. But I really want to know more about that hand guy's backstory, because he seems like an interesting villain. Like, out of all the villains in this show so far, he's the most interesting to me. Like, I love his design. I was wondering what was up with him because we saw him in the opening. I was wondering like what was up with him the very first time I saw the opening. So now that we finally get like a little bit more insight and hear him talking, he sounds badass. He's a cocky ass mofo, which is what I like in my villains. He seems like the kind of guy that I really want to know more about. I want to know where he came from, his name, why is he like this, exactly what his quirk is. I kind of feel that way about Nomu, but I have a feeling that the guy with the hands, he had a big hand, no pun intended, putting together Nomu, because it just seems like Nomu is really just a artificial creature. He's, mindless, I mean, he has a brain, you can fucking see it, but you know what I mean, like he's just a pawn, like a big, buff, strong, muscular, badass pawn. So I'm pretty sure his backstory is going to be something like that. Maybe he's like a whole bunch of epic hero parts put together. And since in the preview to the next episode, I think it said something like they're attacking All Might's weak spot, that part where he got fucked up by a villain one time. So maybe the villain like took a chunk of All Might out, and then they used that to create Nobu, like on some Orochimaru kind of Senju Cell kind of shit. I don't know, but this episode was amazing. Izuku went in, although he really didn't do as much as I would hope, but I mean, up against some real live badass villains, this just shows how unprepared they are to fight people like this. And that kid, I forgot his name, the one that's like half fire half ice, man, he is so fucking badass. I can't wait. I get like a strange vibe from him, like he's too badass to remain good. Like, I think he's either going to go evil at some point, or I think he's going to end up fighting Izuku or maybe Kachan, someone that we're going to be rooting for, and I don't know how that's going to turn out, but he's just too badass to remain on the hero side, because usually in stories like this, that guy usually becomes the bad guy for at least an arc or two. He may turn back good, he may not even turn evil, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get him in a fight with someone. I don't know who, but I really want to see it because he is fucking badass. But this entire episode had me on edge the whole time, like everyone fighting, and I am so glad he made it out that door when he did to go get All Might, because I mean, he could not have gotten there a second later. Like I think like half a second, maybe even 1 second later, Izuku would have been dead, Frog Girl would have been dead, old guy with the purple balls, he would have been dead. I mean, it was just like in the nick of time, everything went perfect. And I wonder if 13 is dead. Like, I know I think it's her suit was ripped open by her own black hole because of that guy's fuckery. So like, is she that suit, or is it like a woman inside of the suit? Because when it was ripped open, all we saw was like black in there. So I don't know if that's where the black hole leads to. I don't know if her body is the actual suit, or if she's just using that suit to contain her fingers so it doesn't suck up everything around, her and whatnot, and kill everybody or some shit. I don't know, but I hope that she's alright, because her power is pretty epic as well. But like dude said, she doesn't have like much combat experience. She's more like sucking up fires and sucking up floods, I guess. I don't know. So, but yeah, this episode was great. I can't wait for the next one. I think the next one is the last one of the season, so I'm looking forward to an amazing finale between All Might and Nomu, and maybe even Izuku versus somebody. Maybe they do like a combined punch, because I don't think All Might is going to be enough to take out Nomu by himself, because they seem equally matched based on what was said in this episode. So hopefully they do like a combined Texas smash or something. I don't know, but like since it states since he's all of his smashes are states, what I really want to see is like partnering states between those two. Like maybe All Might does like a North Carolina smash, and then Izuku does like a South Carolina smash at the same time. Like I really want to see something like that. I mean, I may be a little bit too nerdy for saying some shit like that, but I think that'll be cool. Like if they combine their smashes and, you know, the name of their smashes kind of, you know. But they'll probably end up doing the exact same one. They'll probably do a Delaware or Texas smash. I forgot which one is the most powerful of his that we've seen so far anyway. But I don't know. But anyway, tell me what you guys thought about this episode. What do you think is going to happen next episode? I am happy to review this shit again. I've missed talking about this with you guys so much. It sucks that I came back like right before the final episode of this season. This series deserves so much more, and I'm sorry for slacking. But as you guys can see, I'm not just talking this time. I'm back. And I've caught up with Hunter x Hunter, which is the next video I'm going to make because there is a lot I want to talk about with that Hisoka versus Crollo. I mean, it was crazy. But anyway, this has been jbDAuchiha. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.